Hello everybody, you are watching a Real Media live stream of the March for Palestine on the 11th of November 2023. We're at the gates of Hyde Park, and the march has started to surge out of Hyde Park on its way. Now we're experiencing really bad issues with our internet because there are so many people here, hundreds of thousands of people expected on this march, really highly anticipated event today. So we're going to try and bring you as much live as possible, but in reality we're probably going to get you a lot of pre-recorded shots and interviews so you can see the view from the street. We might also cut out occasionally. There are, as I said, really bad internet issues because there's so many people here. So please hang on to the stream and we will come back to you as soon as we can. And I hope you enjoy seeing a little bit of what's really going on here today at the March for Palestine.
My name is Suzanne. I'm also here live at the National March for Palestine, Ceasefire Now. I do apologize for some of the technical problems we're having. When you've got this many people on the streets, it's very hard to connect to the internet. So thank you for hanging in there with us. We've come much further down the march. It's been difficult to get to the front of it. There are so many people that it's just full from the river all the way up to Hyde Park and more. All different kinds of people here who are doing a range of different chants, asking for peace in Palestine. And I've got one particular person who wanted to come on the microphone and tell us a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, firstly, of course, I'm against genocide. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use that word. It is genocide. But also, I'm here as a Jew for lots of different reasons, because Israel claims to speak for all Jews. On the media, you only hear Jewish people who are apologists for Israel. And the false lie is being put out that this is a hate march and that it's scaring Jews. So I want to show that, I mean, I'm not the only one. I'm actually one of, I think, over 1,000 Jews who are here today from various organisations. I'm wearing a T-shirt from Jews for Justice of Palestinians. There's also Namad. I did co-found a group called Jews for Boycotting Israeli Goods. There's also Jews Against Zionism, National Anti-Zionist Network, Jewish Socialist Group. We're all here, but the media, the mainstream media, don't like to show us because it spoils their narrative, it spoils their agenda.
Well, it looks like the march has gone fairly peacefully today so far from what I've seen. How has the experience been for you today?
Absolutely peaceful. I've never been in an unpeaceful march. I think that's a bit of a lie as well. Even if there was a bit of trouble, I mean, on various marches, I've never seen trouble, but if there is a little bit of trouble, there could be agent provocateurs or whatever. The media will always home in on the trouble to back up the government line, you know, because obviously the government don't want to show that the British people are against their support for this ongoing genocide. It's not self-defense. Bombing hospitals is not self-defense. If Israel really wanted to take out Hamas, I'm sure they could, although I say that there'll always be more. But I think attacks on October the 7th were an excuse for Israel to implement its final solution. I hate to use those words, but I think for Israel, the Palestinians are inconvenienced. They want the whole land. There's oil in Gaza. And I've heard that they want to build a canal like the Suez Canal, the Ben Gurion Canal. So they've got these plans for Gaza. So I think that's what it's about, really. It's about money and oil.
Right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. I hope the march goes very well for you. And we'll maybe see you at the end.
See this,
yeah? Okay. Okay, great. So there's a lot more people coming down. We have a few interspersed areas, but it really is just heaving with people. Glorious sunshine, I have to say. It's cool and brisk here, but everybody's moving along. And let's see who else we might be able to talk to. I'm wondering, would you like to come on camera and say why you're here today? That's all right. Let's see if somebody else would like to join us. Madam, would you like to come on camera and tell us why you're here today? We're with Real Media. Okay, great, thank you. Hi, would you like to speak to camera?
Yeah, sure, I don't mind.
Yeah. Would you like to share with us? So we're with Real Media,
Yeah.
and we're here to show what's happening with this march. So what brought you down here today?
So this is a pro-Palestinian march, or we can say pro-humanitarian march. We are walking in protest of what's happening in the Palestine land, which is being apartheid by the Israel state, I would like to say, and even the Israel, Tel Aviv, and all are protesting against their brutality within the country itself. And we have all seen what Netanyahu is all about. The recent poll shows that only 18% of Israelis only believe in Netanyahu. So this all ceasefire is about all political, and it's all political. It's not about Israel state, or they don't care about it, because you can see a lot of Jews are standing against this apartheid. So I hope this ceasefire ends soon. I hope US is the only country that can deal with it. I hope it happens soon. And thanks for this.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Go well today. Okay, we've got a dog on the march. We've got a lot of different people who are coming down and expressing their opinions about this. So let's see who else might want to talk. Yeah? Would the two of you like to speak to camera about why you're here and why you're demanding a ceasefire? We're with Real Media. I think people are not sure if they want to speak on camera. Could I ask you to just speak on camera as to why you're here? We are with an independent media organisation called Real Media, and we're here to let people on the march talk about what they're doing and why. It's a live stream onto YouTube, right? Would you like to speak about why you're here? That's all right. That's absolutely fine. You can see people don't necessarily know who we are, and given the level of rhetoric that was around this march, you know, the Home Secretary and some of the things that the Home Secretary was saying, I can understand why people might not want to speak to camera, and we certainly don't want people to feel intimidated by it. It can be hard to have a camera sort of shoved in their face. I'm wondering if any of you would like to speak to us. We're from Real Media. We're an independent media organisation, and we're just giving people the chance to explain what brought them down today. It's been streamed live on YouTube. Yeah? I've got a gentleman here who'd like to speak. Thank you. So I'm from Real Media, and we've got a team who is just out here talking, live stream, so people at home can see what the march is really like and what's really happening. And I can give you a card so you know who we are and you can follow it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah?
Well, I'm here. I'm Jewish, and I have reservations even about coming on the march, but I'm obviously totally against what's going on. And I have come, and I'm very happy to see that there's a lot of really good, positive vibes towards Jews from all sides. And it's clear that we need to be here as Jews who are against the terror, the horrors on both sides.
Is that a kind of difficult place to be sitting right now?
Yeah, it's definitely. I have family, through my sister, married to Israelis, Moroccan Jews who left Morocco because of anti-Semitism, went to Israel, and that's their place of safety. So I'm very sympathetic with the existence of Israel, but I'm also really clear, like so many Jews, that we can't, not in our name, that what's happening can't happen. But there has to be a different solution. There's an organisation in Israel called Standing Together that are really important. They're standing with both Palestinians and Jewish Israelis, trying to bridge the divide. So I'm here, and it has been uncomfortable. There are things I see that make me uncomfortable, but if the people who are the peacemakers aren't here, then where are we?
Yeah, that sounds really brave. I'm really moved by that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What would you call on governments to do then? What do you think the next steps are?
We just have to stop investing in the arms trade. We have to just find a different way. We have to be with our tears and love, and we just have to take a radical, brave step to stop funding the war and manipulating people to fight each other so that the men in power can stay in power.
Great, okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time. Yes, I will give you one of my little cards. We're here live, so if you want to wait just a minute, because I don't know. Oh, here they are. They're right in here. Can I ask you to take one out? Yeah? So yes, you can understand why people are feeling a little bit nervous given what's going on, and they don't know who we are. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah.
Sorry, you're just live.
Sorry.
We're on the live stream
Okay.
right now. You're
Hello.
very live. My name is Suzanne,
Hi.
and I'm with an organisation called Real Media. So we're an independent media organisation, and our purpose today is to just be here and let people like yourselves tell their story. Given everything that's been going on around this march, we would like marchers to be able to say why they're here and what it's about. So, what brought you here today?
Well, I've come here with my son Indigo and my husband's disappeared somewhere down there. We've just come to say just want to stop this situation, a ceasefire in Gaza, just a peaceful end to all of this. What's going on out there is just upsetting. It's distressing to see on the news and unwarranted from the side of the Israelis. We want to see a ceasefire.
And what would you like to see happen then? What do you think the governments could be doing with this?
Well, I think, firstly, our Home Secretary could be not sort of trying to stir hate amongst us. So I think the kind of rhetoric that's been going on recently has exacerbated what's happening today. I think we can all see it's a really peaceful protest today. We're all here for one cause, just to sort of stop things going on in Gaza. Our government need to be a little bit more proactive. They need to demand a ceasefire too. They should be doing what Macron's doing in France and demanding a ceasefire, which is not happening. And I think it's shameful.
When am I going to have cake?
Great. Thank you very much for sharing that. Go well, Indigo. Hello. The march seems to have come to a bit of a stop now, so we've got a chance to come and talk to you. So my name is Suzanne. I'm with Real Media, and we're asking people on the march to say, what's your experience? Why are you here?
I'm here because war is really terrible and it has to stop. And I have friends in Gaza and they're eating biscuits, they're eating bread. They're displaced from their home, they're drinking dirty water. These are civilians that are being affected. Everybody that I know has had relatives, neighbors, friends murdered in their home by an Israeli airstrike. This is happening to civilians, and there isn't that much foreign media in Gaza that is able to really show that clearly, but it's very obvious for people on the ground. NGOs and UN organizations have already said that this is civilians dying. These are civilians targeted. This is a girl, her name is Aya. She's a pharmacist, 26 years old, and 2 days ago she was killed in an Israeli airstrike in her home with 25 members of her family. And there's no terrorists. There's no. It was just their family home. This is what people need to know.
I can really feel that emotion.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that happened. There's just one can't help but really be touched by that story. Thank you for coming and sharing it. Can I ask what background is what brought you here?
Yeah, I'm a humanitarian worker. So I've been there in that capacity.
So you know Gaza?
Yeah, I was there as a humanitarian worker. I really appreciate all the support. So thank you so much to anyone who is supporting. They feel very much that the world is rejecting them, but they're really grateful for any support. It's very meaningful. So thanks to all the people. Thanks to you for reporting. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Go well.
Thank you. Take care. All the best for you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Very emotional story there. I don't know if you saw in the background, there were quite a few police officers that ran past us as they do in their big groups. And the march has stopped up there. I'm not quite sure why. The march also stopped behind us for a little while, but now a group of people are catching up to it. So we can continue live here if we've got the connection. And let's see if we can find people who might like to have a chat with us. Would any of you like to speak about why you're here today? We're with Real Media. We're an independent media organisation, and we're just giving people the chance to tell what's your experience been today.
Well, it's a good experience. Obviously, it's a positive thing, seeing everybody out on the streets, trying to call for a ceasefire, trying to get our governments to change their mind. I think demonstration kind of speaks for itself. People come together. So I'm here for my own humanity as much as anything else. I've been coming on demos so many years now. They do change things. You just got to be there to change something. That's all you need to do, you know. So that's why I'm here. And obviously what's going on in Gaza at the moment, it's appalling. It's utterly appalling. In my entire life, I've never seen anything as bad as this. So,
Yeah.
so basically that's the reason I'm here. I'm here just to basically give support to the Palestinian people, to march for peace and sanity. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a theme that we've heard a lot today, common humanity. Thank you. I hope the rest of the march goes as well.
Okay, good time.
So we're kind of trying to grab people as they walk past us here. It's one of those on the march. We've got three folks here. Would you like to speak to camera about why you're here today? We're an independent media organisation. Oh, got you. Thank you very much for stopping. So my name is Suzanne. We're with Real Media. I'd rather not put it on camera if you don't mind, but I'm happy to tell you off camera. And we're with an independent media organisation. We're live streaming right now, actually. And we're just taking the time to ask people what brought you here and how have you found the march?
Hey, look, this is the 5th March. I mean, there's been other activities in support of Palestine, against the genocide by Israel in response to the Hamas attack. There's lots of stuff that butts into the narrative of the Israeli state about the Hamas attack, and some stuff about friendly fire by their own troops that's coming out on places like Grey Zone, platforms like that. Right, there are helicopters in the melee. There is a large section of the Israeli population that question the breakdown of the social contract to protect their people, given that they're locking up 2.5 million Palestinians in a small area in Gaza, and at the same time there's a deracination of other Palestinians' situations, of their livelihoods. Like 75,000 settlers came in last year. Over the last 10 years, it's at least 500,000 have come in. This is in a country of Israel of 8 million Jews, 1.2 Israeli Arabs. That's a lot to absorb. And it's not like here where, no, these people are welcomed and they're represented.
Great. And so today the march is really specifically focusing on the ceasefire, I think. And this is the 5th time that you've been out here. So these marches have been happening every week, haven't they? And yes, there is a very loud helicopter overhead. I'm pretty sure the microphone is picking it up as well.
We've got a slight audio-visual occupation going on. These are the sort of things that are part of the occupation in Gaza and that broke out so disastrously, some people say, so violently on the 7th of October.
Great. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. Go well today.
For solidarity with the Palestinian people.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So as we can see up ahead, the march has pretty much come to a stop here. So we're going to move up here and see what else is going. We're also wanting to make our way up to the front and see the speeches at some point. But we're looking for people who'd like to say a word about why they're here. We're from an independent media organization. So I've done live streaming at various different events like this. And I would say this is the first time I've seen people really nervous to speak to camera in that way. And I can't help but think that it has to do with the controversy around this march. We've got here a family that I'm wondering if they might want to come on. I'm wondering, I'm here on a live stream with Real Media. We're an independent media organization and we're just asking people to say why they're here. No, that's fine. I understand. No problem. Once again, yeah? Would anybody like to come on and speak about why you're here? Yeah? Hello. we're with Real Media, so we're an independent media organisation, and we're asking people to just share with us why they're here and what brought you down today.
Okay, so I look at my lovely, healthy grandchildren, and I'm in absolute anguish at the thought of all the people whose grandchildren are buried in the rubble or killed by this appalling carnage and onslaught. This has got to stop. There's no way we can go on with this. It's absolutely horrendous, and we feel absolutely heartbroken for all the people in Gaza who this has happened to, and also Israeli families who have lost children. Cease fire now for humanity's sake. Isn't it so? It's the only way.
I think that's been the common theme here, and humanity is something that a lot of people that we've spoken to have mentioned.
Yeah. So this morning we had a wonderful action. It was called Baby Shoes for Peace, organised by exile families. And what we did was we laid hundreds of pairs of tiny, middle-sized, big shoes on the steps outside the National Gallery in Trafalgar Square. And then we just read out name after name after name of the Israeli and Palestinian children who have died in the struggle, and thousands of them whose names we don't even have, who are under the rubble. And then we had the silence for the Armistice Day, obviously. And it was so moving. We had speeches, people talking, and the names being read. It just went page after page. Thousands, Sarah. Thousands of names. And all the little shoes laid out. It's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking.
And would you like to say anything about why you're here?
Well, I was this morning in Trafalgar Square doing the baby shoes action and singing and helping put out the shoes, and all the names, a whole load of different people across the UK had written children's names. So we had the children who were under one, then the 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and there were 5 or 6 pages of each age group. It's really horrifying. And I've been on the previous marches as well, because as soon as this started to happen, I just knew that there was going to be a huge turnout and that I couldn't not be there. We have to be here. It's huge, and yet we're getting no press coverage. So I'm really glad to see that Real Media is on the case, because even, these Friday prayers outside Downing Street, no mention anywhere. So, yeah, I'm here to support the people of Palestine and to just really denounce the horrific genocide that's happening.
And I'd just like to say, I read out Michael Rosen's poem, The Children of Gaza, which is so heartbreaking. And the last line is, what does it say? This land is for all of us. Children, you have a right to be not dead. You have a right to be not dead.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, ladies. Great. Thank you so much. I've got 2 more people here who'd like to speak to us. Thank you very much for coming on camera. Some people have been a little bit nervous to come on camera, so we're really glad that you're taking the time out.
Who are you?
So we're with an organisation called Real Media, which is an independent organisation. So we are live streaming right now. You're on the internet. And I'd love to just know what brought you out today.
Well, I think multiple reasons have been obviously horrendous. It's been so horrendous watching the news in Gaza. It's unfolded. We're Jewish, and I think one of the things that I've found really painful to watch is how this has been framed across our media, across from our mainstream politicians, from Labour and the Conservatives, as that these are hate marches. They're not. This is all of us taking a stand for Palestinian liberation, and it is so crucial to recognise that Jews are absolutely in support of ceasefire. Do not want to see ethnic cleansing in our names, and the idea that there would be this kind of divisive rhetoric that really drives wedges between communities of the oppressed. I'm not interested in people saying that Jewish grief, Jewish suffering can be used to catalyse genocide, and I'm absolutely in support of Palestine.
We're just going to move a bit because the police are coming through, so we're going to move over to the side, but stick with us if you don't mind. We're not quite sure what they're doing there, but the crowd is partying for them. They're driving rather fast at the crowd. That looks a bit frightening, I have to say, seeing the police drive that fast with this many people. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but let's come back to what's happening and why you're here. I'm sorry that you got cut off.
No, not at all. I've actually come over from Wales as well, and it's, this march being, like on Armistice Day, on a day of like national peace, when we remember peace, like the idea that we wouldn't be calling for ceasefire on this day is also something that seems kind of crazy to me. This is the day to really think about why our government, why our media, why our politicians should be calling for peace.
Great, thank you for that. And did you want to add anything to that?
I agree with everything my sister has said, and I just really think it's important for Jews to be a part of this march and to make more nuanced the perspective that this is some kind of hate march or anti-Semitic. It's inclusive, and our voices, it was important to raise our voices here to call for a ceasefire and an end to occupation, and to try and bring in some peace at this terrible time.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share that perspective. I hope the rest of the march goes off as peacefully as it has been for you. We appreciate your time. Thank you. So it's all happening now, really. There seems to be a really large contingent of people back there who were kind of held back, and I can hear them. I don't know if the phone is picking it up. They're chanting hugely back there. We're kind of in the way of the police officers. Marching off down that way. Felt like I was going to get. So I'm unclear as to why that group has been stopped down there, and it's raised our curiosity. So we're going to head off this way. You can see there's back on the other side towards the bridge. There's quite a large contingent of people, and then there is this break with the police walking towards it. I'm also conscious that there are some speeches going on at the end of this, which is close to the US Embassy. It's a little bit difficult from here to see how big the march is. I think you're also getting some shots of the helicopter, and so you all at home probably have a bit more of a perspective than I do on the ground right now. I know I rode a bicycle very fast for a long time to try to catch up to the front of the march, and I didn't make it. So we're coming up to this larger group now, and we're trying to see exactly what's in it. And it is slowly moving, and it is awfully loud to coincide with our microphones. So let's see if anybody thinks that they might like to share what's happening. I'm going to let you hear the chanting.
One, two, three, four. 5, 6, 7, 8. No justice. No justice. No justice. Palestine won't be free. Palestine won't be free.
I'm here today because I'm Jewish and I'm a socialist, and I think it's absolutely important that everybody is out on the streets defending the rights of Palestinians to fight back. They've been oppressed for generations and kept in an open-air prison. They are being murdered on the streets, and everybody should be out here defending them.
Feels like a sea of people are washing over us right now, chanting, "We are all Palestinians."
Too tight.
It's when you have a crowd coming past you like this that you really get the sense of scope of this. Just standing here and seeing all these people who have come out on the streets, despite what's been said, trying to discourage the march. These people obviously didn't listen to that and have come out. And so I'm going to see if we've got some more people. We're with a media organisation called Real Media. So we're an independent media organisation. We're live streaming right now. And we'd be really happy if you told us what brought you here.
Just the abhorrence of what Israel's doing in Gaza at the moment. It's just objectively horrible. So that's why I wanted to be here, just to lend my voice to the crowd. Yeah.
Great, thanks for taking a moment to talk to us. It's kind of hard for people to stop right here because the tide is absolutely washing people forward, and I feel like I'm a bit on a rock in a sea. All these different faces coming through. Despite the fact that we saw police officers marching off this way, it is incredibly peaceful. Different folks who are moving along. Let's see if I can ask this. Would any of you like to speak on camera? No, I've got to catch them a little bit sooner. I think there's an art to this that I've got to learn. Yeah?
Ceasefire.
Could you just say this?
Yeah, ceasefire. Ceasefire. Stop killing all of these children. They are just innocent. And stop arming Israel. It's not fair.
Thank you. Kind of hard for people to stop because they don't get caught up with their friends, isn't it? So, would you like to speak to camera for a minute about why you're here and what brought you out today? Thank you. Thank you. We're looking around trying to grab people. It's interesting that it's hard. Would you like to speak about why you're here today? Would you like to speak about what brought you here? Could we interrupt your march for just a minute? We're with Real Media, an independent media organisation, and we're live streaming, so you're live right now on the internet, and we'd like to ask what brought you down here today.
I can't understand why everybody isn't on the streets about this. Surely everybody is against children being bombed, maimed, undergoing surgery without anaesthetics because of the blockade. I just feel for all those people and I'm so cross, really angry that our politicians are failing us. They're failing Gazans. Yes, what Hamas did was awful. It was a crime, a war crime. What Israel is doing umpteen war crimes, now bombing hospitals, schools, UN personnel are being killed, nurses, medics, reporters are being targeted. For God's sake, the world must wake up.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Go well on the march. Very strong feelings here today. There's an awful lot. I'm hearing a lot about humanity. I'm hearing a lot about children. I think the plight of children is something that's really touched people, in the fact that it's civilians who are so much in the firing range of the 10,000 dead in Palestine right now. That is a theme that comes back again and again. I'm wondering if you would like to be on the internet. We're with Real Media. We're an independent media organisation. Yeah? Okay, I've got somebody else here who'd like to speak.
Yeah.
So we're with Real Media. You're on the live stream right now. And could I ask what brought you down here today?
Yeah, to support Palestine and to support stopping that genocide and killing innocent people and children anywhere in the world. So don't take me just for the Palestinian. Everywhere. Yeah.
So you see this as not just an issue for Palestine?
Yeah. Big issues for the Palestine, and we can see now as well. But I don't want to give the impression that, okay, if happening in Palestine, that's bad, and if happening somewhere else, that's that's not bad. It's equally bad everywhere. Yeah, so we should stop. We should stop. We should stop.
Great. That's a strong call for peace. Thank you.
In Hyde Park, and we've come for the Palestinian Solidarity March for the people of Gaza, and to stand in solidarity with them and the people of Gaza. And we all are aware that this genocide is taking place, and we're here to say not in our name, and be standing with the people as a humanitarian aspect to ensure that innocent people in the world, children, women who are not involved in this war at all, are being massacred on a daily basis, and governments from the West need to stand up and hear our pleas and protests to get them to do a ceasefire immediately to allow humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip.
This is so random. Free Palestine. Yeah, and we were just free Palestine.
I'm not using my tracker.
I want to talk to camera.
Anybody who would like to speak to camera? Would you like to come and speak to us? Very much. Oh, we've got a baby behind us. We have to make a little bit of room for. Always make room for the children.
Which media?
So we're with Real Media, which is an independent media organization. So you are live streaming right now.
Okay.
So we're on the internet, and our purpose today is to really give a voice to the people who are here and say, how's your experience been today?
It's been really nice, like a family event. I came here because I missed the first 3 marches, and I was sitting thinking to myself, if this were 1935 and Jews were being slaughtered, and I could do something about it, I would be out screaming at the top of my lungs. And why wouldn't I do it in this case? And I would do it for anyone who's being slaughtered. So I feel like it's the right thing to do.
That's brilliant. And you sound like you're possibly not from Britain. Are you from
I'm American, but I'm also an Egyptian. So I'm an immigrant to America, and I'm an immigrant to the UK. And I mean, I immigrated to free countries with free speech, with humane values, and who tout, freedom and democracy. And we just don't live up to it all the time. And we need to be free to call attention to causes that are not discussed in the media, and they're not given enough voice. So I'm here to give them voice, like any citizens of America would do, or any citizen of the UK would do. But unfortunately, Palestinians can't do it, and a lot of people in Israel can't protest freely and can't speak freely. So I'm here to support stopping killing children, basically, stopping massacres for anybody. I deplore what Hamas did. I'm a friend of Israelis and Jews. I care about them, and I care about Palestinians. I care about all human life, and so that's why I'm here.
So if you had a message for both the government in the United States and the government in the UK, what is your message? What do you want them to do?
I would say start living up to your ideals. Stop putting down free speech. Stop lying to the public, basically. And I would say to the public, get information from other sources, because you won't get this side of the story from the regular sources. So I'm just hoping America and the UK live up to their ideals. Sorry. Yeah, is that all right?
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. Go well on the march. We've got a couple of other people who are ready to speak to us. We're just moving off to the side. Something very big is coming here. Yeah? So we're going to just get up on the curb if you don't mind. Hello, my name is Suzanne. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
So what brought you down today on this chilly but sunny, wintry Armistice Day?
It's my way of protesting about what's happening in Gaza and demanding a peace ceasefire. I think it's genocide. I've come from Brighton.
So genocide, that's a strong word. Why do you choose that?
Because I think that that is what's happening, and that in fact it's only Palestinians who are suffering. I think it's a determined strategy on the part of the Israeli government.
And do you feel like this march is being listened to now?
I hope it will be, because it's extraordinarily diverse. It's not just the Palestinian community that's come out, it's everybody in London and the southeast.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Go well.
Waiting for the demonstration to start. It's going to be a massive demonstration and just showing solidarity with the people of Palestine. I think it's really important for as many people as possible to be here today. I think it's worth saying that I'm from a Jewish background, and it's really absolutely wrong to equate the state of Israel with the Jewish community. I'm sick and tired about people talking about the Jewish community. There is no one Jewish community. There will be many thousands of Jews on this march today, showing their solidarity with the people of Palestine.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm here to support Palestine because Israel is bombing them and killing all the people in Gaza, and all the children are getting stuck under the houses.
Fund Israel.
We need to fund Israel. McDonald's.
No, I don't need to fund Israel.
Fund Israel.
We need to fund Israel.
I said fund Israel.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for taking the time. Would you like to say why you're here now?
I'm here to support Palestine because this literally goes against all human rights, and she didn't say bomb Israel, guys. She said fund Israel. Just saying, but free Palestine, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. Take care. Yeah? That's all right. Let's see. Would you like to tell us what brought you here today? Okay. Once again, it's a little bit challenging. Would you like to tell us what brought you here today? We're with Real Media, an independent media organization, just asking people what's important to them today.
Just like ceasefire in Palestine, and yeah, like a stop of this occupation. Like you can see, people are passionate about this. People really care about it. Yeah, that's why we're here.
Thank you very much. Yeah? I think we're really getting a common theme here. There's a very strong humanitarian theme. Would you like to talk on camera about what brought you down here today? Yeah? We're doing our best to see if we can get people, but it's not always easy.
Okay, hi. Could you tell us why you've come here today to protest the Palestine march?
So we've come here because our government, especially the UK government, has really been ignoring our cries for a ceasefire. We've come here because we're humans, we've got humanity. We've come here because many lives have been lost, and if a ceasefire was called yesterday, then today's victims would have been saved. But so we're still here, we're calling for a ceasefire because we need it. We need to save these lives.
Do you have any particular connection to Palestine that's made you come out today?
I feel like I've been going, my first protest that I went to was in 2021, and I think it's just like, as a human, like, you see the suffering, and no one should deserve to have this. Palestinian lives are equal to Israeli lives, Palestinian lives are equal to our lives, and they should not have to suffer the way they are, especially when the entire world is watching and making them show their children on cameras and still ignoring their cries for help.
Do you have a message to people watching or to the government today?
Let me think. I think the simplest thing is that the world is watching and the tide is changing, and we're seeing now that the government are standing with war crimes and they're being complicit in this genocide. Thank you.
Okay, we're back here on the road up towards Vauxhall Bridge. You've been marching for a while. How's the march experience been for you?
Well, it is great. You can see there is a sea of people. There are millions of people from every background, from every color, from every race, from every religion, and from different parts of the UK. And they have only one demand, that we want ceasefire now. There have been enough killing, and ceasefire needs to be implemented as soon as possible. We are seeing another Holocaust, and these are the people who will be, when history will be written, these are people who will be considered as on right side of the history, because these are the people who are demanding ceasefire, who are demanding that Palestinians should be given their right, their freedom, and the brutality which Israeli forces are basically killing innocent children, innocent civilians, women for last more than 32 days. That is a kind of unacceptable thing for entire humanity. And it is our human responsibility that we stand up against this oppression, against this cruelty, and against this state terrorism.
Thank you for sharing that. And what's your connection to this? What
Well,
brought
I
you?
think first of thing, I am a human being, and I think we have a right as a human to live freely. And I think that as a humanity, we need to stand up against this cruelty which has been subjected on the Palestinian civilian, Palestinian women and children especially. Thousands of children have been killed. I have 3 sons, and I just see, when I see those babies being killed and those babies which are being taken out of the debris of the buildings, I mean, it could be me, it could have been my son. How that is different from my son? He is a son of a human being. He is a soul as well. And what was his fault? Even whatever is happening politically, what is the mistake of those children who are being killed? And why we living in UK and in America, why these Western countries are supporting Israel and giving Israel a free license to kill civilians? I mean, Israel cannot do all that unless America and Britain, all those forces, they don't support Israel. If they take their support back from Israel, it will not be able to carry on this atrocity for a longer period of time. So we have, as a nation, our blood on our hand for those civilians which are being killed. And this is our responsibility as a human being, that we stand up against this oppression which is being enforced on the Palestinians.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Go well.
So they basically...
Again, that last speaker, again speaking to our common humanity.
I'm here marching today because 3 weeks ago I lost my own son in an accident in Mexico, and today I learnt this word, tekla, which means someone a parent who has lost their child in Arabic. I've worked in Palestine. My husband has worked in Palestine. My husband is Jewish. We don't want any more children to suffer, and we don't want any more parents to suffer in the way that we are doing at the moment. Our hearts are broken in two, and they're also broken in two for Gaza and Palestine.
Okay. 5 seconds. Talk to camera.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
So, we're just with an independent media organisation, and we're asking people to share. You're streaming live on the internet now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
From London, sunny. We're all here in a good cause.
What brought you here today?
I'm very concerned about the way that our government and other governments around the world are turning their back on the Palestinians. Obviously, there's a lot of concern about what happened on October the 7th, but this started many, many years ago. And that was just a consequence, unfortunate consequence, of many years of oppression, of occupation, and the Palestinian voice not being heard or recognised by our government or governments around Europe. So we're marching in solidarity with Palestinians today and asking for a ceasefire.
Why do you think that it's a little bit hard to do this right here, but why do you think that the UK government isn't calling for a ceasefire?
It's very hard to say, because I think historically Britain is implicated in the creation of the State of Israel and the plight of the Palestinians and them becoming refugees and being taken from their land. We've historically supported Israel. Obviously, after the Second World War, there was a need for a homeland for the Jewish people. But actually, this is not the solution to that. There needs to be cooperation, and the British government seems to want an ally in the Middle East, and it's chosen Israel to be that ally. We're opposed to what Iran does and other governments in that area, and it sees Israel as a natural ally. And we see Israel, many of us on this march, see Israel as an occupying force against UN resolutions, UN Resolution 242 and many other resolutions, violence from settlers moving into Palestinian lands, taking the land, and actually controlling the free movement of Palestinians within their own homeland. Why the British government chooses to do that, and why the Labour government doesn't speak out more about it, I'm frankly quite disgusted as a Labour voter.
Right. So what would your message to Keir Starmer be?
Get behind the Palestinian cause. Stop putting up a front for Israel, because it's immoral. They are committing war crimes, and I and many others were hoping for better from him. Some moral leadership from somebody with a legal background like he has is sadly lacking, and it seems like he's got a party line with the rest of the Labour Party, which is really, really disappointing to see. So Keir Starmer, get your act together and stop saying platitudes to keep Israelis on the front foot. Let's stop funding Israel and let's call it out for what it actually is, which is a genocide.
We'll try to send that to Keir for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Where will it be?
This is going to be on Real Media. If you
Real
Google
Media.
Real Media, you'll find us. It's on the YouTube. So, I have absolutely lost track of the number of people who have passed us by. There is just wave after wave after wave of people. It doesn't seem to come to an end. Estimates were of 500,000 people turning out. I'll let the people viewing the helicopter footage actually make a judgment on that. But from here on the ground, I think I've easily seen a couple 100,000 already. And I don't know how far back it goes. But being a veteran of these marches, I would say easily a couple 100,000 without even guessing any further. So we're going to see if there are other people who might like to have a word with us and share their perspective. Would you like to talk to camera about why you're here and what brought you down here? So we're with Real Media. We're an independent organisation and we're live streaming on the internet to give people at the march a chance to have their voices heard.
Okay,
So you can tell us what brought you here.
The fact that there is genocide or an attempted genocide going on in Palestine, and that we cannot just sit back and let people being killed, and children in particular. And it doesn't make any sense to answer a war crime with another lot of war crime, and the proportion of people who are dying and children are going to be traumatized for life. That's no way to resolve a problem. And it's really important that we do something, because this is not a world where we can be passive observers. We have to be active citizens. And as you can see, this is a very peaceful demonstration. So,
were you worried about coming down here when you heard about all the different controversies?
I knew it was only done for internal politics in the Tory party and their base. Has nothing to do. I've been on all the demos. There's not been any violence. I'm 72-year-old. I am very experienced. I don't put myself in any kind of risky situation. But I knew, because I knew what people were like. They are demonstrating out of compassion, out of a sense of justice, not out of any kind of violent or prejudiced ideas. You know, that's just not true. And it's shameful for Suella Braverman to do that just to improve her chances of becoming leader of the Tory party. It's really shameful.
Thank you for speaking your truth with us. Go well.
You're welcome.
Hi. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well. It's been a very exciting time here. What brought you to this march today?
I mean, all of our phones have been flooded, haven't they, lately with the atrocities that's happening in Palestine at the moment. I think it's really hard not to look at what's happening and feel like you need to do something. So it's really inspiring looking around today and seeing everybody marching together, lots of different backgrounds, lots of different spaces, saying this needs to stop. We need to do something, and ceasefire, peace is the way that we need to look at things. So that's why I'm here. It's really in solidarity with the people of Palestine that are really having the most awful, unimaginable time at the moment, and the people in Israel who are really struggling to try and see why
their people in power are causing such devastation, it must be, I mean, people all over, it's just not okay what's happening. Regardless, there's no, and what I think the reason for me being here and a lot of people here is today is to not really, it's not about sides, it's about humanity and saying this, we all need to come together and say that this needs to stop and violence in this way is completely unacceptable.
So if Rishi Sunak were sitting at home watching my live stream right now, what would you say to him as your Prime Minister?
Come and join the protest, the march. Come and join the march, definitely. Because there's people from all sorts of different backgrounds here, really friendly, very open people, willing to talk about why some of the things that he and his government has been doing and saying has been really unhelpful and unproductive. And it's a really friendly space with people who have got lots of people with lots of interesting things to say and backgrounds that they can give him insight on. So I would definitely say, come and join the protest. It's certainly not a hate march.
We are all Palestinians.
Okay, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Hope you caught the end of that. Whenever somebody comes by with a loudspeaker, it's difficult with our microphones here, but this is what happens in a live stream. You are live here with the National March for Palestine, calling for a ceasefire now. The people just continue to walk past us. They're on their way towards the US Embassy. Would you like to speak on camera about what brought you here?
So, I've worked in Gaza. I worked in Gaza in 2014 after the Israeli assault that killed over 1,000 people, injured many thousand more. And I was there in 2015, and I was working for a theatre company in Gaza, run by a guy called Rafat Al-Aidi. It's called Ayam al-Masra, and it means Days of Theatre. And there was a stage manager on that show I did in 2015 called Mohammed Kulab, and I've been a friend of his since then, and I've been helping him sometimes because he didn't have a job and he needed to pay his rent and so forth. And I heard from Rafat, the guy who runs the theatre company, that Mohammed was killed by an Israeli bomb 2 weeks ago. And he was married. He had a young daughter who was like 1.5 years old, and I don't know whether they're still alive. If the bomb was on the apartment that he lived in, they're probably dead. So that's why I'm here, and I'm here also because we lost our son in Mexico. He drowned. Okay, it wasn't an Israeli bomb, but we feel very much for the children of Gaza, because nearly half of the people who've been killed in Gaza are children. And that's all I have to say, really.
Well, I just want to say that I've come up today because I'm so outraged by the inflammatory intervention of the Home Secretary. So that's why I've come today, and in support of peace.
I'm a London Jew. I'm not religious, but I come from a Jewish family, many of whom are quite related to Israel. I'm here because I feel so upset and so strongly that what is going on in Israel is just so distressing and just so inhumane, and I can't really deal with it without coming out and making myself known.
Okay. My name is Helen. I'm the older generation. I'm here because I am finding the suffering in Gaza, the number of children who are being killed, the number of adults who are being killed, and older people are disproportionately high. That for 1,400 Israeli dead, very early on I was writing to my MP and then to the Labour Party saying how many Palestinian deaths are going to equal one Israeli death? Are we counting? There are far too many casualties in Palestine, and the war did not begin on October the 7th. November the 7th. It did not begin, even with the Second World War or the First World War. It goes back thousands of years to where, you know, these countries have, we have arbitrarily divided up the Middle East. We've drawn straight lines where there were none and labelled them countries. The West has a lot to answer for. And now I am particularly angry that the United States is continuing to fund Israel and produce ever more dangerous and lethal weapons. That there's someone that needs to say to the United States of America, stop arming Israel and let us seek a two-state solution. Let us seek a lasting peace where future generations can grow up in peace and harmony. There are many Jews here, many Palestinians who want the same goal. May their voices prevail.
So we're back here marching down the road. We're in a block of trade union. We've got several trade union protesters here. So I've got somebody who I believe you're from Unison. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm from York City Unison branch. I'm a teaching assistant. I work in a school.
And you're a teaching assistant going about your daily life. What brought you to London today?
Well, I think I work in a school, and what's happening to the children in Palestine is absolutely horrific. I mean, we've worried about our children's mental health after the COVID pandemic, but can you imagine if Palestinian children survive what they're having to see? Can you imagine the impact it's going to have on them? I mean, it's absolutely horrific.
Yeah. So your connection to children is the thing that's really motivating you, but you've got your fellow trade union members with you as well.
Yeah, this is a trade union block, and it's really important that all aspects
Our union wants BDS, so we want sanctions against Israel.
So what is BDS?
So boycott, divestment, sanctions. We want to ensure...
All right, so I'm here with a Unite trade unionists. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Damien McCarthy. I'm chair of Brighton and Surrounds Unite.
What has brought you here today?
Well, we want equality for everyone. We're opposed to apartheid. Our union is opposed to apartheid. Our union wants BDS, so we want sanctions against Israel.
So what is BDS?
So boycott, divestment, sanctions. We want to ensure that it's world equality, especially equality for the Palestinians who are suffering genocide and war crimes right now. So that's what our union supports. We want our leadership here. Our leadership is absent, but the grassroots members aren't. As you can see, we've got a banner, we've got hundreds of Unite members here, and we want our leadership here as well.
So it's almost a similar way to our government saying they don't want to do anything about ceasefire. It's even unions are also not really...
Well, it's difficult because all the members support, well, apart from a few, all the members support peace, equality, justice. That's the whole point of our union. And that's why we're marching. We brought hundreds here, if not thousands, from Unite, and the leadership need to know that. I don't understand why they're not here. We marched against Nazis. Our unions have got a proud tradition of fighting against racism and fascism. And why aren't they here supporting us? Apart from a couple of regional secretaries who I've seen, I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of the banners that we've got here from the regions as well. Where are our national banners? Why aren't they here? We've got our own banner that we've made ourselves overnight, yeah? And it's been carried by these people here. Why is our leadership not doing it? Anyway, we're all here, we're proud, peace, justice, and we support Palestine. Thank you.
Section 60 there to remove masks.
Go. Well, I know and love both Palestine and Gaza. I have been there. I have written letters to the Archbishop of Canterbury, to Starmer, haven't even tried with Sunak. It is a matter of deep, deep shame that we are not calling for an end to this war. And the idea that by bombing, shelling the legs off women, children, civilians, starving them of water, fuel, everything that makes life sustainable, that this can make Israel secure is just an absurd idea. It cannot help Israel. We know Hamas has committed clearly war crimes, but I would like to point out that Hamas has been asking for peace for about 20 odd years. And in 2004, shortly after the Second Intifada, an ex-MI6 officer, Alistair Crook, who knew Hamas well and had dealt with them through the Intifada and through the siege at the Church of the Nativity, was speaking in both London and Washington, and what he was saying was the rhetoric of Hamas has completely changed. They are asking to come into the political negotiations, and if we do not listen to them and speak with them, the balloon will go up. Well, the balloon has gone up. It is bad for Israel. It is destroying of Palestinians. And I think it is very interesting that the UN is talking in terms of genocide. A Jewish friend of mine said very recently, what we are watching is genocide. This feels like genocide. This is what happened to us in the ghettos throughout Europe. And she said she was horrified by the fact that no British or Western European then leader would speak out. And she said of the UK, we are morally bankrupt, and I'm afraid that is true. That is why I'm here. The issue is actually international law.
Yeah, on the screen.
That's right. Yeah.
Palestine!
taken over
What channel do you belong to? Can I say a couple of words nice way? It's not on? All right.
Well, I just want to say that I've come up today because I'm so outraged by the inflammatory intervention of the Home Secretary. So that's why I've come today, and in support of peace.
I don't know why you did it.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Justice!
This is by the cenotaph on Remembrance Day. It's these types. Go towards London. But then, I think it's the second turn off, you turn off. You go and stand here before, you go on the elevator section, and the piece of side goes over the front. You have to turn off. Hundreds of
Limo to join the movement.
Okay. Can you tell me why you've come down here today? In support of the Palestinians, in support of a place where the Palestinians can live. Oh, I've got to keep fighting here, have I? Why am I here is a long, complicated question, but historically, we need two states, or at least one state, where they both live together. And what's going on at the moment is beyond words. I find it very difficult to watch the television, which I'm stopping doing because you just cannot go and bomb children, right? They have no agency, they're children. And I mean, that's one part of it, but there's the political part, which we know what the answer is, but they won't do it. That is criminality.
Suella is a win.
Terrible, you know. I don't know. It takes a long time to say all that. We need to have we need politics back in order to solve this. We need diplomacy and politics, not just mindless rubbish that they put out on the television and the mainstream media. It's not going to happen.
Well, so you're live on the internet,
Sorry?
right? You're live on the internet right now.
Okay.
So if the government were listening to you, what would you call on them to do?
Well, ceasefire now. They have to stop all shipments of armaments, which they're probably doing. There's been about 17 flights from Cyprus to Israel. There's a British transport base. Ceasefire now. Stop all arms. Ceasefire now. And phone Netanyahu and say, you must stop now. And then a boycott. I mean, there has to be... They won't do it, but there has to be some sanctions. Real hard sanctions against Netanyahu and the Israeli state. You know, that kind of thing. And talked United Nations and all that kind of stuff. We just have to get all those nations that are for a ceasefire have to get together and do it. And
so
then,
you see this as something for the international community to get involved with?
Sorry?
You see this as something for the international community to get involved with?
Absolutely. I mean, this has to, absolutely, the whole international community has to be involved through the United Nations, for example, okay, through the United Nations, to say enough is enough, and then put in place measures which will make the Israeli state stop what they're doing. Economic, political, cultural, anything to stop it. And make the point that this is against the Israeli state. It isn't against Jewish people, it's the Israeli state, which by any means one just could call a fascist state. You hear the things that the army's saying, these army generals, that, Palestinians aren't human. That's exactly the same as Hitler was saying to the Jews in Germany before the war. The first thing you do is make them less than human, and then you can do what you want. Then you can bomb them, kill them because, they're not human. That's what's coming out of the Israeli state. And they've been doing that for how many years now? Since the Nakba? It can't go on, it has to stop. It has to stop in that. And I just find it incredible, like people like Biden and Sunak and Starmer, all that, just cannot say, this has to stop. These are children. Powerless.
Can you explain what the Nakba is for people who aren't familiar with that term? It means catastrophe, doesn't it?
Catastrophe. It's in 47-48 when 700,000 Palestinians were forced to leave that part. I mean, that was what was a British mandate, and they were forced to leave, and that's what the Nakba is. And so, what you see now is Nakba 2 when they're being moved to the south of Gaza, It's not complicated. It's history, right? We have to do it. We have to do something.
It's a history, I think, that many people aren't as familiar with as they might be.
Well, I think lots of people here will be familiar. I mean, all these people will be familiar, Anybody who wants justice in this world has to look at the Palestinian cause and see as a kind of archetype of what oppressive Western regimes can do, And the rest of the world, of course, is looking on and saying, the golden billion, look at them. Look at their governments, how racist they are. And we think it's only this part of Western Europe, but the rest of the world looks on and says, we see you, we see you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Very good. We've got somebody else here who's up for talking with us. Thank you for taking the time. So, have you been on the entire march?
Yes, from the start, yeah.
Been around for a while for it to get going?
We start from Arbor March. We came a bit late, but we joined them from the start, yes.
It feels awfully big, doesn't it?
It's very nice, really, very, very peaceful. And we just show how we feel about what's happening in Gaza. And what's happening now, people get just bombed from the sky for nothing, really, and he even doesn't know what he did. And kids, even now, today, Israel is saying they will bomb even the hospitals, which is rubbish, really. If you need to fight who done it, they fight it, but not to kill innocent people.
Yeah, that's a really strong point. I'm curious what connects you to this. Why did you decide that this was something that you wanted to come out on the streets and stand up for?
Because, like when we saw what happened in Ukraine, anyone refused in the whole world. And every country supported because it is rubbish. Like Russia just invaded and took the part of the country. And it's normal, they supported Ukraine. But now what happened in Gaza and Palestine, Israel taking the land from people, from their own land, and they kick them out. They kill them if they refuse it. And now we support Israel instead of supporting Palestine. This is like, it's not, justice. Justice, we need to do it. Both, you support Ukraine, support Palestine, not support the killer now in Israel.
It's an interesting parallel to bring up. We're in two big wars, and they're being treated very differently.
Exactly, yeah. And in Gaza, it's very, very small part of the land. It's not a country. They don't have that much thing really to do. Just few hospitals. People living there. Yes, there is army part. If you need to fight it, fight it. But keep the peaceful people in peace. That's it, really. They don't need to kill everyone to get rid of the few people. Here in the country, if you have a killer, you arrest it, you judge it. You wouldn't kill the whole street to get that killer. You just need to do that, like, to treat who done the problem and treat it in his own, not the whole city or the whole country.
Thank you very much for sharing that opinion.
Thank you very much for coming.
Okay, take care. So just when I think that things might start to be slowing down, we've got more people coming along, people with big smiles on their faces. And we're wondering, would you like to speak to camera? We're with Real Media, an independent media organization, and we'd love to hear what brought you on the streets today. Why are you here?
We come from Gloucester, and we came from protest of our Gaza people who are living in very suffering situation. So we have free Palestine. Yeah, people live there. Same as like I have my daughter. We care about, as a parents, people are dying, children are dying. So we care about them. We want free Palestine. We want free Palestine.
So you've brought your whole family from Gloucester today?
Yes, we came from Gloucester. Yes.
That's quite a trip to make with so many.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
It must be something you all feel quite strongly about.
Yes, strongly bad. Yeah. This will feel bad. Yes. We want free Palestine. Yes.
So free Palestine.
Yes, free Palestine. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for stopping. Lovely little ones. It's something that's really struck me. There's children over there. There are children everywhere here today. Everywhere you look, there's another pushchair coming. You can just go through the crowds and see lots and lots of kids. And we've got somebody here who's got a sign about children. The sign says 4,500 children killed in Gaza. We will remember them too. That's quite a powerful sign to carry, 4,500 children.
It's a lot of children died, and I think that Armistice Day is about remembering the dead, and we have to remember the heroes, war heroes who fought for us in the past, but also the victims of war now and the people who are dying now, and call for a ceasefire.
And why do you think we need a ceasefire instead of a humanitarian pause or anything like that? What's important about a ceasefire?
Because there's no point just having a little pause for water and food and medicine to get into Gaza for the civilians to get bombed again. We need to stop the fighting. There's no point. The hospital medics sewing up the injured people for them just to be bombed again. We need it to stop, and we need people to start to talk about how to sort the problem out. I feel.
Good. Thank you very much for sharing that. Go well. So again, we see kids everywhere. Back to the theme of children, and I think it really does say something about the tenor of the march here today. People over and over again saying that it was a peaceful march. Certainly, we have seen police rushing around in different areas, but we've seen no signs of violence so far. And, we just met the family from Gloucester. Lots and lots of families have come out, which I think says something about what people were expecting today. There's no violence to be seen. We see a nice little pink smoke bomb going off in the distance there, which adds a little bit of color. But everybody with smiles on their faces. And we're just seeing if other people are up for stopping. It's starting to get a bit chillier now. And I keep thinking we're at the tail end of the march, but we aren't. They keep coming more and more and more. So would you like to speak?
My daughter, sorry.
Okay, yes, people with children understand that, absolutely. So, would you like to speak to camera for a moment?
Hi, we're back on the march again. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name is David.
What brought you here today?
The fundamental injustice of what's going on in Gaza right now.
Right, so what's this thing we're here?
Well, I'm Jewish. I'm a humanist. I am completely disgusted by the so-called political leadership we have in this country and the way that the Israeli government, which people constantly conflate with Jewish people, is going about in their response is just horrific and disgusting.
Right, so what has brought you here today? Why are you come on this march?
We are here because Israel is killing innocent children and bombing them, and they're doing genocide on people for no reason. And that's why we are here, because we're all human, and another human being dies, we all feel it, and we feel that pain, and we have to come out and show that, that we care about Palestinians, any human life, all of them, we care about them.
I mean, there's been lots of different people here today. What other people have you seen here that's on this march?
I've seen a lot of different people from different cultures, from different countries all around the world. And I'm happy to see that people are coming out and show their expression towards equality and not showing the same right for the other human beings that Palestinians. They're not showing the right for them. They are not giving their rights. They're being locked in and they've been kept under pressure. And they've been bombing kids and civilians, slaughtering them. They've been having this sort of event from a long time, but they have crossed this limit because they killed the children. Over 4,000 children been killed for no reason.
So, thank you for stopping to chat with us. You've come down today, it's starting to get chilly. What made you come out on the streets of London?
The genocide of over 12,000 Palestinians, and our government isn't doing anything about it. and it's out of order. Someone like Suella, who's a bigot, who's married to a Zionist and has decided this is her policy. She's calling this a hate march. There hasn't been one instant of hate. The hate's coming from the right wing near the cenotaph. That's where the hate is. Everyone here is peaceful. All we want is a ceasefire. That's all we're asking for.
And why do you think a ceasefire is important now?
Because the Palestinian people, there's a genocide going on. There's over 4,500 children dead. How many more children do we need to die before something happens?
That really says it all. Thank you so much. Again, reference to the children. I think it's the thing that's motivating people here so much. And you know, I find it difficult to stand here as a presenter and not be impacted by this. There's a deep, visceral feeling here amongst everyone that we've spoken with, deep down in their hearts, about how wrong they feel what is happening and their desire to come out on the streets. I've been and covered many marches in London. I can't think of anything around an issue such as Palestine that has brought so many people onto the street. You know, this is starting to remind me of the Stop the War marches back in 2002, 2003. Just all different kinds of people together, talking about the common humanity, talking about some real opinions regarding the rhetoric of the government and the rhetoric around this. That's a theme that we hear again and again. So we're going to see if we can find a few more people who might want to speak on camera to us. There's a few that have changed. Would you like to speak to camera about what brought you here today? We're from Real Media, which is an independent media organization, and we're just giving people the chance, live streaming, to say what brought you. Why is this important to you?
Because I'm completely anti any kind of occupation. I'm completely anti-colonialism. This is a clear example of how degradation and subjugation for humanity occurs. We've seen it in history loads of times, whether it's in Africa, South Africa, South America, etc. Now we're seeing it in the Middle East. We're still seeing it in places like Sudan and Congo in Africa as well. So this is a march, not just for Palestine, but just for freedom and liberty of people, for understanding and bringing and uplifting people. There's collectivism today. Everyone is here with maybe slightly different agendas, but we're here for freedom. We're here to end oppression and, just end the occupying state. That's all it is.
Could you talk a little bit more about word colonialism?
Cool, yeah.
and how colonialism comes into play with the Israel-Palestine situation?
Yeah, so from my understanding and acknowledgement, this stems back to 1948, but even earlier than that, with 1916, I believe it was, with the Balfour Agreement. So America, France, UK are very much intertwined with exactly what's happening today. This is just an extension of the British imperialism that we've seen for hundreds of years. This is this newest version, and it's something that enabled Britain and America to be in the Middle East without them having any kind of objectification. They're empowering the state by providing them with artillery, with any more armor, everything to destroy what's going on and actually eviscerate the people of Palestine and in Gaza. The fact that we have to say Gaza and the West Bank when it was just one united place before tells us that something is going on, something is wrong. And yes, it's being funded by our own government, the American government in particular. France, you're not getting away with it as well. This is something that's coming from imperialism, and therefore it's a colonial thing that we're dealing with, not just two entities that are going against each other. This is something that has been supported by the forces that are here.
Great, thank you for explaining that and sharing that.
All good, hopefully I got everything right.
Brilliant, take care. So that was a slightly different perspective of somebody really looking, at wider geopolitical things that are happening and not looking at the Israeli-Palestine situation as isolated. But certainly we have different powers at play. So I can't keep calm. I demand a ceasefire in Gaza now. That was a nice poster here. So lots of noise coming down the way. I don't know how much our microphone is picking this up, but we've got a very loud group heading out. Would you ladies like to speak to camera about why you're here? Beautiful dancers coming along. I'm gonna just let the dance music play for now.
Yeah, so I've come down here. Sadly, I've come down here to march for peace on the day of remembrance, on the day of remembrance of what war can do to people. Right, war kills humanity, and this is a peaceful march, and that's why I'm here.
And what would you like to say to the government, if you could have a word with them?
On this day of all days of remembrance, lest we forget, wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Thank you. Would you talk to camera?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hi. Tell us why you've come down today.
Yes.
Just look into the lens here.
Yeah, we are here to demonstrate that we want ceasefire now. Stop killing children and men and women. It is enough. It is enough. We need to stop it now. We need a ceasefire now.
How's it been today? Has it been peaceful?
It's very peaceful. I mean, I just starting from Hyde Park and all the way through here. I mean, people are here with the children, elder people, you know, very peaceful, very passionate, but very peaceful.
Anything else you'd like to say?
So,
Anything else you'd like to say?
I mean, I urge the international community, I urge the government and American government, look at the people, respond to them, and stop genocide in Gaza and stop killing Palestinian people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I see.
Palestine will be free!
We're in London Victoria Station right now. It's just after 3 p.m. on 11th of November 2023, and people have started to sit down in a protest in the middle of the station concourse. Got about 50 people at the moment, no, probably more like 100, and they're encouraging more people to sit down.
And I'm standing directly in front of the cars.
I'm with two activists on the Palestine march. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Andrew Scholes.
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
And what brought you here today?
It's just an issue we're quite passionate about, and yeah, we'd like to just hold the government accountable. We'd really like the government to just basically tell Israel their stance and basically not support what Israel's doing right now.
Yeah, and I think it's what their actions are just not. They're just not likely. It's just not okay, and it just goes against our values as a human, and that just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't matter if you're which side you're on. It's now just a case of human rights, and that's why I'm here for.
you die. We will never let you die. Viva, viva. Viva, viva. Palestina. Viva, viva. Palestina. Viva, viva. Palestina. Viva, viva. Palestina. Viva, viva. We'll be free. Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is a terrorist state. 1, 2, 3, 4. Palestine! From the rivers to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the rivers to the sea! Palestine will be free! 1, 2, 3, 4! Occupation no more! 5, 6, 7, 8!
Hello. So I see your placard says Doctors for Gaza.
Absolutely.
Can you explain a bit more about why you're here marching today?
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday we had a vigil at Downing Street for all the doctors and healthcare workers that have died in Palestine, and there's over 200 of them, and it's horrible. Today Al-Shifa Hospital is being bombed with 30,000 civilians inside. 39 neonatal babies have died in NICU. It's horrible, it's disgusting, it's unjustifiable. So I am here as a doctor, I am here as a human because it's the right thing to do.
What does it feel like to have so many people around who are in solidarity with the
I have been coming every single week, and every single week we've turned up, and now more than ever. I mean, I'm just glad I'm not alone, and I'm glad there's still humanity around. So I'm hopeful.
Any other message that you'd like to share?
Free Palestine!
Thank you. Oh, let me just show your placard. Thank you very much.
So it's starting to get a little bit chilly here, isn't it? But you've stopped your marching to have a wee chat with us. Yeah. Got a beautiful sign made by your daughter. Yeah. You've obviously come down here as a family. How do you feel as a family at this march today?
I think we feel privileged to be living in peace, and so everybody has that right.
So we're here to support ceasefire, strongly to support bring peace. So the message is clear. We're not taking any sides. We just want peace. That's the main thing.
And you felt safe to bring your daughter here today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a concern, but I think because the main message is peace, we hoped it would just be a peaceful, important march. So, yeah.
And how's it felt then?
So far, so good, actually, yeah. I'm not sure we'll make it to the embassy. I feel like maybe it'll be a bit more feisty over there, but we're definitely going to kind of carry on to the bridge. So, yeah.
Great. And if you had a message to deliver to the UK government, what would it be?
Ceasefire now.
Ceasefire now.
Yeah,
that sums it up. Thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful sign as well. Very good work.
Thank you.
Alrighty, bye-bye. So, yeah, it's only 3:30 here, but it is definitely starting to feel the chill but there is literally no letting up of the people who are coming through. So I'm going to see if we can find somebody else who would like to talk to us. Would you like to speak to camera about why you're here? Would you like to speak to camera about why you've come? Okay. Yeah? More children along the way. Could I ask you what brought you here today?
For the ceasefire.
For the ceasefire. That's obviously the theme and the message being echoed again and again. Yeah? Palestine! 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 Would you like to speak to camera about what brought you here today?
My English is not good.
I heard
That's
that.
what you want.
What brought you here today? Why did you come down?
Because the children in Gaza. I have 4 children. I know how they feel, the parents. I know. The only reason is the children of Gaza. It should be stopped. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Yeah. Again and again. And here we have, can we get that seeds of change? Yeah? Would you like to speak to us about what brought you down here today? We're an independent media organization. We're live streaming right now. And we'd just love to hear how you brought your children and what you're doing today.
I think our biggest motivation really is that we just need them to stop killing these children. It's just outrageous. And I think, we can argue all day long about the politics behind it, but those children need to be represented, and that's why we're here with our children.
So you've brought your children to make that connection. And obviously you're finding the march okay today?
Yeah, it's extremely safe. We were apprehensive because we've not taken them out on something like this before, but it's been quite wonderful. People have been really helpful, very aware that there are children around. It's been extremely peaceful.
And so how does it make you feel when you hear the Home Secretary saying that this is a hate march?
I think that it doesn't surprise me, and they're likely to say that, but they're wrong. And I think seeing all of these people out here today is evidence that they're wrong. So it's sad, but, it's not that surprising, I think.
And so what do you think the next moves are going to be for the UK government? What should they be doing next?
I mean, to be honest, it's anyone's guess, really, isn't it? I'm just hoping that what's happening today, and I suspect will continue to happen, will add some pressure. That they'll stop the firing and killing off the children. So that's the hope, but, it's anyone's guess which way it will go.
And have you come far today?
We've come from Bedford.
That's great. So a bit of a long trip then with the kids.
Yeah, but they're being very brave, so...
Do you think you've been brave? Have you had a good time today? Okay, thanks for coming down. Do you want to add anything? Okay, I love your banner. So nice. Take care. Go well. Yeah? Hello. So we've got another interesting sign here. You can't silence us, Cruella. Tell us why you brought this sign.
Because she's the only one that's hateful here.
What do you feel the atmosphere is for you?
It's just devastating what's happening. And the British government is complicit in what's happening. They're enabling this.
Can you explain more about how the British government is complicit?
They're supplying weapons. They give their unconditional support to Israel, which is not acceptable when children are being bombed, when there's a massacre and a genocide taking place.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Palestine will be free.
made an encircled enclosure around about 200-250 people, and we'll see what happens next.
Hello, can you tell me who you are? My name's Mike, I'm from Jewish Voice for Labour. I'm here today as part of hundreds, possibly thousands in the Jewish bloc, which is the largest Jewish bloc we've ever had on a Palestine demonstration, because more and more Jews in this country are horrified in what the Israeli government is claiming to be in our name, and it's not in our name. We stand against oppression, we stand against occupation, and we stand against genocide.
What is your opinion why the Jewish state is doing this? Why is it opposed to the rest of other Jews in the community?
I mean, there's long answers, there's short answers. One answer is Netanyahu's desperation to stay out of prison means he's invited fascists into his government, and he's allowing them to drive a policy of ever-increasing repression. History didn't start on October 7th. There's been increased settlement activity and killings of Palestinians in the West Bank. None of this excuses what happened on October 7th, but it explains it. And the reaction, which is to try to save his own skin by killing tens of thousands in Gaza, is disgusting.
All right, so always with the oppressed, never with the oppressor.
That comes from the uprising of the Warsaw Ghetto. Morris Edelman, one of the leaders of the uprising in the ghetto, and he stood for peace and brotherhood and sisterhood. He didn't think about it in those days, and saw a Jewish liberation movement as only possible if it was the liberation of all.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got a wonderful family here, all of whom are wearing some Palestinian flags, and we would really like to hear, you're here on this march that was branded a hate march, that was disrespectful. You've brought your whole family down. How are you feeling today?
We're feeling fantastic. We've come to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people. As Muslims, we are taught to preserve life. As believers of this faith, the Islamic faith, we must uphold our values. The way we are doing that is by marching today.
And how does it feel about bringing your whole family here?
Everyone here is family. The 1 million people that have turned up today are family. Whatever is happening in the world can only be fought when standing together. If you can't stand, sit. If you can't sit, lay. The million people here and the millions across the world are making history And what we're doing is for the preservation of life. Nothing more, nothing less. We're calling for a ceasefire. As a small family, as a family of 1 million, and as a family of millions across the world, we want to see Palestine liberated, free of occupation, and that's what we're marching for.
It was very eloquent. I found that very moving. Thank you so much for sharing that. Did you want to say something about why you're here?
No, I just wanted to go in the camera.
Really important to have some fun as a family as well, yeah? So I'm glad you've had a good day out. I'm glad it's been peaceful, and I wish you very well on your way.
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go well. Thank you for stopping to talk to us, both of you ladies. Do you want to tell us what made you come out here today to join hundreds of thousands of people on the street?
Well, I am a mother. I have a child, and every time I see children dying, blowing up to pieces, in blood, losing their parents, I feel like at least I need to come support to the Palestinian, and also to try to put pressure on our government to back a ceasefire, because this is the most humanitarian thing you can do. Children are dying, not just children, women. Not their fault. Whatever happened, collective punishment is a war crime, and we can't. Two wrongs doesn't make a right. What happened in the 7th October, it was atrocious. Nobody accepts it. But collective punishment should not be the response. And innocent lives are being lost every single day since then, non-stop.
Can you tell me a little bit more what you mean by collective punishment? Can you explain that?
Bombing hospitals, bombing UNRWA schools, bombing bakeries, bombing markets. That's collective punishment, and that's a war of crime, because it is targeting civilian infrastructure, water, electricity. That's what I mean by collective punishment. It's basically targeting people's livelihood.
Do you want to come in on that?
Basically, yes, we feel like Israel find a reason to just wipe out all the Palestinians and, just to commit more crimes. And the problem is the media and the governments all around the world that are watching and not saying anything. And us as a people, we want to stand up and we want our voice to be heard. We want people to know that killing innocent people and bombing places like hospitals and bakery with people having as a shelter. And there is no proof that Hamas is hiding there. If they can only show us proof, we would like to know if actually there is militaries are hiding underneath. But there is no proof. There is no proof. So that's all I can say. We just want free Palestine and stop bombing Gaza and children. Thank you.
Thank you both for stopping. Yeah, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a mother who came out and using that term collective punishment is a very interesting term in this, because the idea is, you can go after Hamas, for example, for the crimes that they committed, but what's happening are attacks on civilians, on civilian infrastructure. That's what the mother who spoke just recently, the mother spoke about the attacks on marketplaces, on hospitals and things like that. So the entire population of Gaza paying the price for what a relatively small group of militants have done. So that's what they're referring to when they talk about collective punishment, the entire Gaza population paying the price for what Hamas did. So let's see if we've got some other people out here. Would you like to speak to camera for just a minute? No. Would you like to speak to camera about why you're here? They're all getting a bit swept up as everybody's coming by. Would you like to... No. Would you like to speak to camera for just a minute about what's brought you here? Yeah, come on. Yep, great. Yeah, thank you for stopping.
Where's this going?
So this is going out on Real Media. we are an independent media organisation.
Nice.
And we're just giving people a chance to share what's alive for you right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very emotional, isn't it? I guess just being here you can read a lot of the news and being here makes it more as real as you can make it in a way. So.
Have you ever been to a march like this before?
Yeah. I was here 3 weeks ago for the same one. So, I mean, I don't know. There isn't. It doesn't seem like there's an awful lot to say apart from just solidarity.
How does it feel to be out here?
It feels good. It feels good, but I don't know. It's like you're not the main character. Being a white British person, you kind of need to step aside and just let other people speak, but listen and I don't know, try to facilitate something maybe. I don't know.
Have you learned anything on these marches then?
I guess. Maybe just learning more empathy. Yeah. Have you learned anything on these marches?
I've spoken to so many people. I've learned that there is just this sea of humanity who are coming out speaking about humanity, and I'm finding myself really touched by that.
Yeah, it is quite. I mean, obviously, it's a horrible thing that's happening, but then it's quite a beautiful response of everyone. But then it's also strange. I was like walking. I took a very long route to get here through London and seeing, the kind of the Remembrance Day stuff, and then everyone just going around shopping, and then this. It's like, I don't know. It feels like a very charged day today. There's a lot of maybe it's the weather. Everyone's out, but it's like there's so many different things happening in the city. And it's strange coming here and then leaving and everyone's just living their normal life. It's a luxury, I guess, to be able to come and go like that.
Yes, we don't have any bombs falling on us, do we?
No. And let's hope that stays like that.
Okay, well, thank you for stopping and talking to us. Go well with your day. Yeah. Okay, so every time I turn around, would you like to speak to camera about why you're here?
We're from Belgium.
You're from Belgium?
Because in Belgium, they don't know nothing. So we came all to London for...
You came all the way from Belgium for this?
Yes, of course.
Amazing. I'd really like to hear more from you. We're with an organisation called Real Media, and we're live streaming, so you're live right now. Okay. And you've come all the way from Belgium.
Yes, to London.
Yes, to London.
Yes.
And what would you like to say to people who are watching this back at home?
Wake up. Wake up. There's a real genocide going on there in Palestine. And there's no one helping them. And all we can do is raise our voice in the streets. And London is one of the biggest, so we're only here together. It feels like a family. They're not alone. So, free Palestine.
Do you think that the Palestinians have enough internet to be able to hear us?
Sorry?
Do you think the Palestinians have enough internet to be able to hear us?
But they will feel it real soon. They will feel it.
And do you have any messages to the government in Belgium? What are they doing right now?
Wake up! Bart Wever, if you see this, Bart Wever, opstaan manneke, want kijk eens allemaal naar Londen, ze doen hun best en wij mogen niks doen, dus heel jammer. I said it in Dutch, because Bart Wever is not a smart person. Thank you so much.
Do you want to say anything about why you're here?
Palestine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we got the international women's contingent there. Yeah, messages to the Belgian leadership. Lots of whistling coming down the way. Yeah, great. Thank you so much. So we're with Real Media, and we'd like to hear what brought you here today.
I saw all the stuff on social media, the killing of the children, the adults. Basically, what Israel is doing at the moment is unacceptable. Killing people, absolutely unacceptable. So I was in France. I came back this morning, 4 a.m. I'm going to go a little bit of sleep, and I'm here today in solidarity.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And how do you feel about being here?
I'm actually feeling chuffed.
and the fact that I could be part of this, march, in solidarity, obviously, okay, and I hope we have a ceasefire and all of this is stopped.
Because it's not really about Palestine, it's more about what the Israelis want. They're going to do whatever they want anyway. But it's very important that they listen to the people here today. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's see what your sign is, first of all. Is it Armistice Day or not? Would you like to tell us why you carry that sign and explain it to us?
I'm carrying this. I feel like talking about army, and I feel like if you really value Armistice Day, you want to pull truth, show us. End the occupation, end the genocide, ceasefire now. I also have this sign of the 3 young men who died in Abu Dis, which is located in Palestine. We just want the end to this genocide, the end of the killing of innocent young people. In Abu Dis right now, they are being raided by the IDF every single night at midnight to 8 a.m. Young kids are being arrested, which we like to say is basically kidnapping, because their kids are being kidnapped and missing and being murdered. So we literally wanted to come here today to say, please, end the genocide, liberate Palestine today.
And do you have any connection to these young people? Have you been following this, or do you know them?
Yeah, I don't know them personally, but I have been to Abu Dis, which is located in Palestine, East Jerusalem. And Abu Dis and the Camden Association have an exchange program where they take people from the UK to Abu Dis and people from Palestine to the UK. And that was an opportunity to learn more about the conflict firsthand and connecting what's happening in Palestine on a macro level, on a micro level. So you get to know about their daily experiences on what an illegal occupation looks like in a day-to-day for young people. So these were 3 young people who are actually involved in a refugee camp where I actually visited, and they mean a lot to the people I know personally in Palestine. So my friend Abid and his family, their kids, this is their friends, and his kids spend a lot of time in the graveyard because a lot of their young people are dying. So this is something not just happening in Gaza, it's happening in Jenin, in Sheikh Jarrah, all over Palestine, all over the West Bank, and this is nothing new. So it's really important we connect the dots and try to end the liberation, end the suffering for everybody in Palestine.
That's very powerful. So you know some of the people who are in Gaza right now?
In Abu Dis, Palestine.
In Abu Dis.
Gaza personally, yeah.
Right.
In Abu Dis, in Palestine, in West Bank, yes. This is from Abu Dis. I got it when I went in 2018 in Palestine. A lady from Jerusalem bought this for me, and she bought this for me also. And
beautiful.
And when I went to Al-Aqsa Masjid, which is where we pray, we were praying on a Friday, and the Israeli soldiers threw tear gas at us simply for just praying. It was unprovoked. Many of us had to escape the mosque. There was clashes, and literally I experienced that for just 10 days, and Palestinians have been going through this every single day. Young people were praying in the mosque, and I remember specifically when the Israeli soldiers literally aimed their gun at us. Palestinian women who I don't even know put their body in front of mine to protect me. But their faith is so powerful in Palestine. They don't fear anybody except God. We say, do you know what? Palestine will be free, inshallah. So yeah, their faith is really, really inspiring. They don't let anything stop them. They continue to exist and resist. So, free Palestine, inshallah. God willing. Thank you so much for your time. This is my sister, by the way.
Hello, can we have a look at your sign as well?
Yes, of course you can. Yesterday, I made a banner. For this march. I wrote, thinking of those with disabilities under the occupation of Palestine, Gaza, and how they're living in terrible, and how they're living in the Gaza city, under the occupation. I'm thinking of them and their sensory needs, and it's not right. They're living in bad conditions. So I wanted to say the disabled people there, my condolences go to them and their families, because they lost their loved ones, and one day I would like Palestine to be free. And I'm thinking of those who are living in this environment and how the bombs is making them feel terrified.
Yeah.
So my sister, as you can see here, she says that I am autistic. Aya has autism, and she's literally thinking about all of us with disabilities in Palestine. And obviously, we've said, just to reiterate what you said it so perfectly. Sensory needs, the bombing go off. How are they managing? How are they coping? And a lot of media doesn't really show, these difficult daily occurrences that people with SEN or learning need might go through. So we're just trying to amplify their voice and say we're thinking of you, we're here for you, because they can get forgotten in the media, and that's why we're here.
Thank you for speaking so eloquently. I really appreciated hearing your voice.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's very sad they're living like this, and I would like them to live in a safer environment, and hopefully.
Thank you very much to both of you. Good luck. Go well.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, that was really very moving, and thinking about some of the other things that people in Palestine face. Thinking about people with disabilities is something that we always need to take into account, and we don't often do that. This is getting a little bit difficult here. What we're looking at is cars are actually trying to drive into the march, and it's surprising me that the police haven't blocked this. This is one of those recipes for disaster, really. This road should be blocked off and people shouldn't be allowed to drive on it. Fortunately, the car seems to be turning around, but that is definitely something that we don't want to see on a march. And, once again, it's starting to get darker here now. I'm interested that the police aren't even helping the car turn around. They're just walking along on their phones. And the march just continues. There was talk of the march ending at 4 o'clock. I can say that from Optiv, we are, 500 meters from the river. The march shows absolutely no sign of abating whatsoever. There's a particularly noisy group coming up here now. And what have they got? Liberate Palestine is that sign. Would you like to speak about what brought you down here today?
Freedom.
Yeah? Would you like to speak about why you're here?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think we're going to have to move over to the side because these people are holding hands, or we go under them. So
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Hello, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Netanel Ben Yarden.
Why are you here?
I'm here because of our humanities. I'm here with the Jewish Bloc and specifically the Black Jewish Alliance to come and say that this is not being done, this war is not being done in our names. As Jews, we want to be visible. As Black Jews, we want to be visible. To say we solidarity with the people of Gaza, the Palestinian people. They have to be free. And what that means, from the Yarden River to the Mediterranean Sea, free and equal. And it's not just about asking for peace, it's asking for liberation.
Thank you.
Real media, right?
Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine. Free, free, Palestine.
Right, we're very
We are in the midst of the march going between Hyde Park and Victoria Station. It's chock-a-block here, quite difficult to talk to people and very, very loud. But the message so far seems to be of frustration with governments for doing what people say is not enough to protect people in Palestine, constant calls for a ceasefire. We will get back to you in a minute when we've tried to speak to some more people, but yeah, very, very difficult to connect to our media server at the moment.
Right, so as the sun begins to set a little bit, can you tell us what brought you out on this chilly winter day?
I've seen a lot of people in the Jewish community saying that what's happening at the moment is okay, and I wanted to make it clear to everyone that there's a huge proportion of the community that actually says no, we're not okay with this, we're not going to stand for this violence, and we want to see change. So I just wanted to be here today to represent the Jewish voice.
I'm just looking at your sign here that says no more murder in our name. That's quite a strong sentiment.
Well, there have been a lot of people who have been saying, oh, well, it's in the name of God, this is supposed to be happening, but I disagree with that completely. Our God would never agree with this happening, and I couldn't think of anything more incorrect or untrue. We're a religion of peace and love. This is not in our name. So, yeah.
And how have you felt being on the march today?
It's been amazing. I've seen so many other people like me. I cried a little bit earlier because I had a really nice moment with a lady and I gave her a pro-Palestine bracelet, and it's been amazing to be here. I'm just so glad I'm here. Yeah.
Great. And if you had a message for the people back home who are watching this, what would you like them to most know right now?
I want somewhere safe for us to go as Jewish people as much as the next person, but if it comes with the blood of thousands of children, we can't have it. This can't be okay, and we can't pretend that it is. We have to wake up and realize that killing children is not the solution.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Palestine will be free. Palestine. Palestine.
Hello, can you tell me who you are?
My name's Mike. I'm from Jewish Voice for Labour. I'm here today as part of hundreds, possibly thousands, in the Jewish bloc, which is the largest Jewish bloc we've ever had on a Palestine demonstration, because more and more Jews in this country are horrified in what the Israeli government is claiming to be in our name, and it's not in our name. We stand against oppression, we stand against occupation, and we stand against genocide.
What is your opinion why the Jewish state is doing this? Why is it opposed to the rest of other Jews in the community?
I mean, there's long answers, there's short answers. One answer is Netanyahu's desperation to stay out of prison means he's invited fascists into his government, and he's allowing them to drive a policy of ever-increasing repression. History didn't start on October 7th. There's been increased settlement activity and killings of Palestinians in the West Bank. None of this excuses what happened on October 7th, but it explains it. And the reaction, which is to try to save his own skin by killing tens of thousands in Gaza, is disgusting.
All right, so always with the oppressed, never with the oppressor?
That comes from the uprising of the Warsaw Ghetto. Morris Edelman, one of the leaders of the uprising in the ghetto, and he stood for peace and brotherhood and sisterhood. They didn't think about it in those days, and saw a Jewish liberation movement as only possible if it was the liberation of all.
Thank you.
So it's 4 p.m. We've just gone past Victoria Station, and the Palestine March is continuing. There are hundreds of thousands of people here, we think, and you've seen some scenes from all sorts of people talking about why they're here today. It's getting a little bit dark now, and we know that there are speeches that have started down at outside the US Embassy. But just to give you a flavour of the fact that not everybody will probably make it to those speeches because there's literally so many people. So yeah, really historic moments here in London.
and an honor to introduce the next speaker, a man who's always stood up for the Palestinian people, who showed up to these rallies, who stood with us in solidarity. MP for Hayes and Harlington, John McDonnell.
When they asked you, where were you when the Palestinian people needed you? You can say, I marched with 1 million others for peace. Suella Braverman has called this march a march of hate. This is a march of peace for peace. She condemned us for marching on Remembrance Day. My father was a sergeant in the British Army throughout the Second World War. They fought for peace across the globe. If my father was alive today, he would be on this march with me. At the end of that war, leaders came together. They established the Rome Statute, the International Criminal Court, and it said this, Article 8, indiscriminate bombing of civilians is a war crime. So let's be clear, Israel's bombing of Gaza was a war crime. Article 8 said the use of starvation as a weapon of war is a war crime. The blockade of Gaza by the Israelis is a war crime. Article 8 also said the forced movement of people from their land is a war crime. The Nakba that's been perpetrated on the Palestinian people in Gaza is a war crime. We're here today to demand that our political leaders call out those war crimes. But also we're here to demand, not request, to demand that our political leaders, Rishi Sunak, Keir Starmer, all the others, demand a ceasefire now. This week in Parliament, there will be an opportunity to vote for a ceasefire. I give you this pledge, no matter what they say, no matter what the threats, as a Labour MP, I will be voting for a ceasefire. Solidarity.
Thanks for taking time to speak with us today. Where have you come from today?
From Hounslow in West London.
And what brought you out on the streets?
To be honest, I think after scrolling through social media all week and seeing what I feel is injustice going on, and seeing the suffering that's going on over there, while our government stands by and allows this to happen, I just felt like I couldn't stand by and watch this happening. Or I felt like the most that I can do in a free country like the UK is come out and protest and show solidarity with the people over there. Yeah.
And how's the day been for you?
To be honest, me and my friend came quite late. We came at about 3. We just started at Victoria now. I guess it's kind of exciting to see the kind of energy and the support, and to see that people are doing it so peacefully as well. Like, I haven't really seen any trouble except for at Victoria Station. There are a few, scuffles with counter-protesters and the police. That's been the greatest thing, really, is to see people just, use their freedom of speech and their democracy to come out in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Yeah.
And so do you have a message for the government on what you would like to see happen?
A ceasefire. I think we need to stop selling arms to Israel as well. Yeah, that's it.
So both the ceasefire and stop arming Israel?
I think so. I think Israel, they don't really need any aid at the moment. I don't think they need aid to fight against, Hamas is bad. Like, I'm not going to deny that. Hamas, what they did is horrible. but they don't need extra help in destroying like a small army of 16,000 people. Israel is like one of the most heavily armed states in the region. I just don't think that we need to be aiding them, really. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That's great. Okay. Okay.
What news channel is it?
So we are with the news channel Real Media, and so we are just giving people a chance to speak. We'd love to hear from you.
I do protests around north side, so.
Yeah? Okay. So, would you like to tell us why you're here today?
I'm here to support the 1 million march here today, and it's very important to come here and raise our voices. This is a chance where we can speak freely about how people are getting killed every day, and bombs getting, hospitals getting bombed. So we're here, and all we want is a ceasefire. All we want is them innocent civilians to get justice, them innocent civilians not to get killed. So this is all the message I have, and that's why I'm here. And all we want is a ceasefire, and that's something I request the government to call on. Not only the recent Sunak, but Keir Starmer as well. All we want is a ceasefire, so we can protect the people, to protect the innocent young kids, the innocent families, the innocent parents who are dying every single day, and the kids who won't be able to see growing up in this. It's just unbelievable and disgusting from our UK government that this has not been called on. This should have been called weeks ago, and still now, as I'm saying right now, there's people dying in Palestine, and this is the worst. Just to think, and it's unimaginable of what's going on there. So this is why I'm here, and forever I will support those who get killed innocently. I will support them.
Have you ever been to a march like this before?
Yes, so I do marches. So I arranged peaceful demonstrations in Rochdale. So I know how important it is that people can come out and they can speak their voices, they can raise their voices. Because we as a society and we as a community condemn every act of innocent person. We condemn every person who gets killed innocently. We condemn everything, whether the whole around the world, whoever gets killed innocently, we condemn. So we need to call for a ceasefire and those to Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate that. Go well. So we should mention there are a lot of different demonstrations going on around the UK. And I just have to comment that all I can see are people coming still. Earlier I said I thought I'd seen, a couple 100,000. We're well over 500,000 here that I've seen streaming by. Absolutely. One of the protesters came to me and said that Al Jazeera was reporting 2 million. I, from on the ground, can't give that perspective, I'm afraid, except that there is just no end in sight to this. It is just humanity coming out on the streets. The street lights have started to come out now here. And there's no end. There's no end. People with their signs. I don't think we can see Keir Starmer behind you, which is too bad. There's maybe you can catch the end of it. Homemade signs. Of all generations, young people, women, children. Lots of different nationalities, so many accents today of people from different places. And they just continue to come. They just continue to flow. They must have been standing in the cold for some time before the march started to move. And they're here. So let's see if we can find some more of these cold people come up to us. Would you be willing to tell us why you're here today?
Palestine.
Can you tell us why you're here today? Would you like to stop and tell us why you're here? Can you tell us why you're here today? Lots of people shy to come on camera. Lots of people, again, I think sometimes a little bit reluctant to come on camera, not knowing really who we are. Let's try here. Could I ask you both why you're here today? Would you mind talking to us? We're from Real Media and we're live streaming to the internet right now. And we'd just like to know what brought you down.
Well, everybody, we want peace and stop bombing.
Yes?
Yeah.
Where have you come from?
East London, Hackney. Yeah.
And how have you found the march today?
Much stronger, and people is getting into a point that is getting very fed up, and like I think everybody wants something to happen right now. It's like we cannot wait.
The people of Gaza can't wait then.
They cannot wait. Yeah, but it's like I've been coming to every single protest, and this one is like the feeling is like people is getting really angry. The other ones, it was like we were asking for, and now we are not asking. It has to happen. It's like I don't remember the word in English. Demanding. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, and how many more times do you think that you'll need to come out on the streets then before we see action?
I hope this is going to. I hope this will be the last time. I don't think it will happen, but I think something will happen in all levels. It's going to be a change. I think this is the beginning of a change. Unfortunately, with a lot of people, and that's the sad part. But if I have to see a positive thing, it's like it's opening the eyes to a lot of people. I had no clue what Zionism was till this war happened. I learned that thanks to the Orthodox Jewish that came with flags talking about Zionism. And then I say, oh, what's Zionism? So it's like it's educating a lot of people, and I think the world is changing. Like the Israel government is going to fall. Israel is dead. I mean, dead. I don't want to say that, but it's just like it has lost all the credibility, the reputation. I don't think Biden will be able to be candidate for the next president. A lot of things are happening, and it's great. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm really. Unfortunately, that is happening with a lot of kids. That's not fine, but it is a change, and I'm glad it's so crowded, the manifestation.
It is very big. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you want to come and have? Oh, okay. Excellent. Would you like to have a quick word about why you're here? Come on. Would you like to talk about why you're here? Okay. Find someone. Real media. Okay. I just got some people, but okay. Sorry, this is the thing with live stream. So hang on just a minute. We'll come to you. I'm lining them up here. There are so many interesting people here. Tell us what brought you here today.
Well, I'm protesting against mass murder. I think Israel is a terrorist state. It is an apartheid state. The majority of people in the world agree with that. The United Nations agrees with that. But we have a foul right-wing government that's arming Israel and saying that they have a right to defend themselves. What does defense of Israel mean? It means the murder of Palestinian men, women and children, innocent civilians. Tell you what the right of Israel to defend itself means. It means that the USA and Britain are invested up to here in the crimes of Israel, and they don't want to pull away. They don't want to admit their guilt, and that's why I'm marching. So I say, Rishi Sunak, shame on you. That's what I say. And I say, you know, you can't hide because you're guilty of genocide, like the kids are chanting. I'm with humanity, and he's with reaction. He's with fascism, and I'm with the people. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you for sharing that. There are some cheers over here from this side of the room, so thank you for waiting very much. Would you like to share why you have come out today?
Yeah, absolutely. Hard to follow that, my gosh. But yeah, I guess I'm here because
my social media, as with so many other young people, all people really, has just been flooded with some of the most graphic, violent imagery and videos I have ever seen in my life, despite sort of years of conflict all around the globe. And I think that I've been so incensed by watching videos of I don't know how graphic I can be on this live stream, but of things that are so unconscionable, so impossible to even talk about. Children holding other children who have been killed by Israeli airstrikes. Hearing yesterday about the bombing of another hospital courtyard, which was shielding journalists. Seeing live the unbelievably courageous Palestinian journalists who are literally risking their lives to go into these areas in northern Gaza, which they've been told to leave. Watching all of these people experiencing another Nakba in Gaza, it's so distressing, it's so horrific to witness. I think it's really important to put pressure on the government and make it clear that this isn't like a religious issue that they're trying to make it out to be. This isn't like a Muslim issue. This is an issue. This is a crisis of humanity. And actually, it's really important that all of us come out and all of us make it very clear that we won't stand and sit here and watch as 10,000 people are murdered, 10,000 civilians. We're not going to allow that. So I hope that this protest makes it very clear to Suella Braverman that this isn't a hate march. This is actually a march of love. This is a march for love for life. And I hope that they are forced to reconsider their position and stop arming Israel, stop supporting Israel, and call for a ceasefire.
You followed that up extremely well. Thank you. For coming off the top of your head, that was brilliant. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.
Go well. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah? Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. So as I said, we're live streaming right now, so you're live. And the purpose of this is to hear the voices of the people who have come out on the streets today and see what it is that's brought you here. So can I just go around and hear a little bit about what's put your feet on these cold streets this afternoon?
I think it's the least that we can do, because at this moment something is happening in the world that is not only challenging our conception of humanity and is not only allowing a whole population to be decimated. It's also challenging our system of international regulations. Because if we have international regulations, we must apply them consistently. And we're here to be the voices of the people who cannot shop for it.
Thank you.
I won't be able to say it so eloquently, but yeah, just here to make a stand so that our leaders can pay attention and call for a ceasefire.
Great. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, George, as a result of the fact that our own government are directly complicit in this is how we're exercising our democratic right to protest, to show them that this isn't something that we stand for largely as a country. I think there's such a massive opposition to it, and I think they need to be shown how much of an opposition there is.
I mean, the march is absolutely huge, isn't it? How long have you been on it?
Since about 1 o'clock, maybe, or a little bit earlier, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were waiting a long time just to get this far. So what would you say, I'm going to ask you first, what would you say to Rishi Sunak right now if he were watching at home?
Rishi Sunak is a waste man!
There's one message for him.
I would say, please do what you can as the leader of the UK and call for a ceasefire, because every minute that you don't, more and more people are dying.
Good and succinct. Do you want to add anything to that?
Do your job. If you say that you uphold international legislation, do your job. And control your Home Secretary. Because this is peaceful despite of her, which is something that still astounds me, that a person is able to say what she says and not even be publicly reprimanded. That's it.
So do any of you have any connection to Gaza or anything that's happening there? Have you been watching it? Do you know anyone?
So with that, I say, as a human watching that, we should all feel connected to it, because they are also human and they need every single person to raise their voice to stop this. When I see those things, I see my mother, my sister, my daughter, my brothers, my neighbors, myself. They're all of us. And if that was happening to us, I'm sure they'd be doing the same thing we are doing now. So we must do all we can.
Thank you. Go well with the march then.
Thank you.
I was amazed at the eloquence of so many people who come out on the streets and get accosted by us to give a quick soundbite, and some of the amazing things that people say. And again, we hear, common humanity. I've said that before on this stream, and just it really touches me that this is what, is connecting people. Here comes, more families that are joining together, smiling and yet knowing how difficult the situation is that we're talking about. So let's see if we've got somebody else who might be willing to speak to us. Yeah, we're gonna now do another recording in just a moment, and we'll be back later. Still here on Vauxhall Bridge and Bloomberg Street. So can I ask, first of all, where you've come from today?
We've come from Birmingham.
So that's a little bit of a trip.
Well, yeah, I was up at 10 to 5 in the morning, but it's nothing compared to what the people of Gaza are going through at the moment. We were thinking about the people that had to leave their homes and are marching down the road to the south. So that's giving me strength today. I want to show my solidarity and my support for the people of Gaza and what they're going through.
And how about yourself? What brought you here today?
Just before the sake of humanity, because we feel for what's going on. It's not right what's going on, and it's gone on for too long. Yeah,
absolutely. And so what was it that called to you to actually, put your feet on the street? Well, first your feet on the train and then your feet on the street. Lots of people see these things and don't do something. What called to you?
So I think it was yesterday. Yesterday I saw something where someone was talking to their friend in Gaza, and they were showing them or talking to them about the marches, and they said what we're going through is so difficult, but seeing the people at the march gives us strength, and that is why I'm here. I want to show the people in Gaza that we are here. We are not supporting our government that is not asking for a ceasefire when that is the humanitarian and the right thing to do. And I do not want to be on the wrong side of history. I want to be shouting and calling for peace. And can I just say, this has been the most peaceful and lovely march with people from all walks of life. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
we've been
lovely. It's a nice atmosphere. Don't feel worried or anything at all. If anything, the rumours that we'd heard, I was a bit worried. My parents were worried, but I wasn't. I knew there would be unity, and we're here for a good cause. We just want to stop the killings, don't we?
Yeah.
Want them to stop.
Yeah. And the police have been really supportive as well, and been really, it's been good. It's the amount of deaths, of killing, the killing of children, the indiscriminate killing of men, women and children. That's heartbreaking. Hospitals, churches, refugee camps. Where does it end? When will our government actually say that this isn't right? It isn't right. It's obvious that it's not right. And it's been criminalised to speak out against Palestine in the UK and across.
I think you mean to speak out against Israel. I think you mean.
When we, it's criminalised when we speak.
Palestine, make me free.
Yeah, when we speak for the Palestinians, that's criminalised.
Yes.
When we speak out, thank you. When we speak out against the atrocities that are happening, and that's. I don't want to be a person that lets that happen. I need to speak up.
It's not as if it's like it feels like it's racism, blatantly. Like their lives, our lives don't matter. Is it about the race then, isn't it? It feels like it's about a race thing, not just a Palestinian thing anymore. Because their blood doesn't matter. They're terrorists. Whatever the government says, they're terrorists. Whoever they feel like it. But we've all got a brain and we've all got a heart and we all feel. So it's about humanity.
Very strong and powerful, ladies. Thank you so much for stopping and talking to us.
You're welcome. Take care.
Hopefully we'll make some
free Palestine.
Free Palestine.
Okay. Hello, we're still here, and I see you've got a different sign than some of the signs I've seen. Shame on Europe. Could you tell me why you're carrying that today?
Absolutely. I mean, the reason I'm carrying this is, at the moment, there's a genocide taking place, there's ethnic cleansing taking place, children are being blown to pieces, and I'm really sad to say that it's been enabled by Europe, it's been enabled by the USA. If both of these parties wanted to, they could put a stop to this massacre, this killing of innocent people taking place, and they're not doing anything about it. They're actually enabling it. And for that reason, I say shame on these people. I live in Europe, I used to live in Europe, I live in the UK, but I'm really sad to see our government complicit in crimes against humanity.
And why do you think they're enabling this?
I think the reasons are geopolitical more than anything else, but I think it's deluded. I don't think it's serving their purpose at all. And at the end of the day, they don't have to suffer. The people who are suffering are Palestinians and Jews. They are suffering, whereas the people who are enabling this are just sitting comfortably in their homes. Real sad.
Now, we've spoke to quite a few Jewish people who have come out today and said that this is not in their name.
Absolutely. I mean, I would give them a hug because I feel for them because they are suffering just like the Palestinian people are suffering, and the people who are enabling this are sitting happily making money out of it. You know, their governments selling arms and weapons and making money out of it. It couldn't be any sadder, but it is.
And so you've come out today with your son on the street.
I have my daughter and my grandchildren are here as well, because every night I go to bed, I see children having been blown to pieces. I know I'm sleeping comfortably on my bed. My children are sleeping comfortably on the bed, and there are people there in the hundreds of thousands who don't know if they'll wake up in the morning.
It's very moving.
Thank you. So, can I go? Nothing more I can say to add to that. So thank you for asking.
Yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Go well. Well, that brought a tear to my eye as well. Palestine! Palestine! What is there to say when you hear things like that? My humanity is touched as well. And they just keep coming. More and more and more people. Louder and louder and louder. This was supposed to stop at 4 o'clock. I don't know how you stop a tidal wave of people. Would you like to come and talk to us about why you're here? Come on. I don't know how you stop this feeling, and we hear over and over and over again the same things. The common humanity, the children, the not making all of Gaza suffer for what is happening.
Stop killing children! No!
about you?
Thank you. I'm very, very well. How are you feeling today at this?
I'm feeling empowered. If you see everyone here, about we're saying that we're hearing above 1 million people, all calling for something which we come to expect. All we're calling for is peace. All we're calling for is justice. We're not calling for something crazy. We're not calling for the nonsense that's been given, the eradication of Israel. No, we're not calling for that. We're calling for justice. We're calling for kids to stop being killed, murdered in their thousands, in their tens of thousands now. It's something which you wouldn't expect that you have to march for. We're here against the genocidal supporting governments. Rishi Sunak, Joe Biden, all of these people are supporting a genocide that is going on in Palestine right now. And we're here to show to the Palestinians that we're here for you. Even if our leaders aren't, we are marching for you and we are here for you.
Have you been on these marches before?
I was at the last one. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go attend the first one, but the last one's here, and it's getting bigger and bigger every single week, which is something which we hope to do at the start. So I'm very grateful for that.
It seems that Suella Braverman, in the end, might have actually given the march more publicity than it might have otherwise had.
That's exactly what she did. That's exactly what her hateful rhetoric and her genocidal support has done. She's given the platform to the march, and we were expecting 1 million people here today. It's hearing that it's closer to 2 million, if anything. So her rhetoric, her attempts to ban it have empowered and encouraged people to come out. I know people who weren't going to come out before today. Now, they're all here. They're all here just to feel that. It's crazy.
Brilliant. And what do you think the next steps are then?
We need to call for an immediate ceasefire, and that's what we're doing here today. We're seeing some progress, if you want to call it that, in the humanitarian pauses that achieve absolutely nothing. We're calling for Israel, calling for the evacuation of Gazans from the north to the south, and still bombing the routes down. You can allow for the humanitarian pause all you want. You're still supporting and allowing for the removal of entire people from their homeland. It's not enough.
Yeah, I just kind of keep imagining, like the Israeli army says, go from the north of Gaza to the south, or from the south of Gaza to the north. It's like saying, okay, everybody in Hackney, head out to Chelsea because we're going to bomb it. And what are you going to do?
No, we hear this rhetoric about Israel, the IDF being the most moral army in the entire world, because it's so cute. They give a warning signs for you to leave, and they still bomb your houses. So it's very moral. It's very moral, isn't it? No, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And you can say, look, we're telling them to flee, we're telling them to this and that. You're still evacuating people from their homes. You're still removing an entire population, 2.3 million people, from their homes, and bombing it to shreds and giving them nothing. To a people which already had nothing. People who are living in, as the UN described, an open-air prison. And the situation is just going to get worse now. They need our full support from this country, from the US, the people who are enabling genocide to happen. And we can't stand for it no more.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Yeah, very, very powerful young speaker there. Again, once again, so many people feel so passionate about this and, are recognizing that a war far, far away is something for us to really be concerned about. That's, again and again, people are speaking about how you may not know anybody in Gaza, but it's your link as a human being to what's happening that speaks to everyone. And the flags are waving, the helicopters are overhead, and they just continue to come. Some of the people were waiting for hours on Park Lane before this actually happened, and they stood in the cold, they stood with their children. My feet have turned to ice, and we're still here with this...
Free Palestine!
We're still here, and I have no idea when this is going to end. And, perhaps that's a real metaphor for this, that there is an endless wave of people who are standing up and doing one of these mass marches to try to get the attention of the government. And I have no idea whether that's going to work, but the UK government can't help but hear the noise of this, and it is a noise asking for peace over and over and over again. These are not militant demands. This is about a ceasefire. This is about bringing aid to people. Over again, that's what we hear the calls for. And a very strong desire not to be involved with this. Blood on your hands. Not in our name. These are things that we've seen over and over and over again today. If there were any problems with counter-protesters, they certainly haven't found us here on this street corner. Everything, the worst thing we saw was a car trying to go the wrong way up via the protesters and police marching about. But it has been extremely peaceful. Even at this hour, I'm watching a pushchair go by. There are children everywhere. Whole families have come out, smiles on their faces, despite the fact of being here for something really quite serious indeed. And I'm going to see if somebody over here might like to have a word with us. Palestine! 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 Palestine will be free! Palestine will be free! Palestine! Palestine! So I am with an organization called Real Media, and so we are an independent media organization, and we're live streaming right now, and we're basically giving the people on the march a chance to tell their side of the story. Why are you here?
Well, it's my birthday and it's Armistice Day, and I've been following the horrors on the news. I really just couldn't stand any more of it. I was hoping not to have to be here today, to be honest with you. I'm following people on both sides of the story on my social media, and I'm just so upset by it all. I can't believe that our government are taking the stance they're doing. I can't believe internationally countries are taking the stance they're taking. I don't think they're listening to people. I don't think they understand how strongly people feel about this. And a ceasefire's got to be called. It's a massacre that's going on there. It's awful.
It's very moving.
I mean, I'm worried about the hostages too, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it is terrible what's going on a daily basis. How those poor Palestinians are being moved from one end of Gaza to the other after roads have been bombed. How are they meant to get there? There's no fuel for cars. You can't travel on the roads. The roads are all broken up by the bombs that have been there. You've got old women having to walk for 4 days. How are they meant to do that with no water and no food? You've got, people dragging children in car seats. I've seen it, for myself on my social media feed. I'm following a couple of people. I don't sleep at night because I'm watching it. I just felt like I had to be here. I don't really want to be here. We had a totally different day planned.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. It's a very emotional day.
Go well.
Thank you.
Palestine will be free!
Yeah, find myself getting a bit emotional about that. It's interesting. I'm noticing, by the way, that there is a big stream of people coming back this way. And so I'm wondering if the march has finished up at the end, that the speakers might have finished up there, because there's quite a heavy stream of people coming back over the river. But looking up ahead, I don't know if there's a let-up. There are some flashing police lights down that way. And it could be that this is slowly starting to become the end of it. Actually, I think I'm looking at those police cars, and I'm going to just turn this way so that you can all watch that coming. But I think that what we're looking at there is the end of the march. I think we've actually gotten to the end of it. And so, we're here at the National March for Palestine calling for a ceasefire. We've been here for several hours. We've watched so many people come by. We've spoke to a stream of humanity who are united in their call for a ceasefire. We appreciate you joining us and following along with this. Please join in with Real Media again and see the different topics that we talk about. And please share this with your family, with your relatives, with your friends. Share it on social media. Let the voices of the people here on the street be spoken in other places. Most of the things that we hear about such marches are filtered through into small sound bites. What you've heard today are real humans who came out to have their voices be heard. Let us listen to them. And I wish you all well. Thank you for being with us.
We're going the right way. We did come. Yeah.